This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem. Bruchim Habayim. Hope everybody's doing well. We're continuing in Mishna Berura Daf Hashavua. We're going to try to finish what we're going to call Daf Vav today, which is basically our third Daf of learning Mishna Berura. So the Mechaber just said in Sivav, one cannot walk in a completely erect posture, and one is not allowed to walk Dalet Amos Begiloi Haraish. One cannot walk 4 cubits if his head is uncovered. Why? The Ramah says because of Kavod Ashchina. It's disrespectful to God to walk bareheaded 4 Amos. Indoors, outdoors. V'yivdoik nekavav. You should check if you have to go to the bathroom before you daven. Haga. V'yichase kol gufay. You should cover your whole body. V'lo yelech yachef. You should not walk barefoot. V'yargal atzmei lipanos boiker ve'erev. You should train yourself to defecate in the morning and in the evening. That's considered energetic and clean behavior for Tefilla. And it's probably good health advice as well, that one should train themselves to clear themselves out in the morning and in the evening. Now, the Mishna Berura discussed, okay, we understand you're not allowed to walk 4 cubits with one's head uncovered, but the Mishna Berura added that even less than 4 cubits is midas chasidus, not to walk with your head uncovered, even when you're sleeping at night. Interestingly, this inyan of covering your head in the sleep, they asked Reb Chaim Kanievsky, well, what if you see somebody went to sleep and their yarmulke fell off? Should you try to pick it up and cover their head? Reb Chaim said, yeah, you should try to do that. That, in other words, it's not a minor inyan. There's something significant about making sure that one's head, again, it's not obligatory. Covering one's head when sleep is not obligatory, but it's midas chasidas. The Mishna Berura brought that nowadays, especially for Bnei Ashkenaz, it's considered an outright isser to walk 4 cubits without a yarmulke, because it's considered following in the ways of the Gentiles. Now, we also learned regarding the prohibition of Giloi Haraish, whether one's own hand could be a cover, there is an opinion that yes, the Pri Megadim says, but not outdoors. Now we're going to learn about saying Hashem's name, Begiloi Haraish. Says the Mishna Berura of Kadniya Beis, Begiloi Haraish, the Kol Sheken Sha'asur Levarech, it is certainly prohibited to make a bracha, V'adin Lilmaid, or to learn Begiloi Haraish with one's hand uncovered. And in the Dirshim Mishna Berura, he brings down, if you want, let's say you want to hear a bracha from someone else and be mechavan to be yoitzei, so the poskim say you cannot do so with Begiloi Haraish because it's shoymea ka'oina. What if you forgot, you made a mistake and you davened without your head covered? Rav Shlomo Zalman in the Halicha Shlomo says you don't have to go back and daven. Rav Moshe in the Gross Moshe says you have to go back and daven, because since goyim in their houses of worship are makbet dafka to daven with their heads uncovered, so tadam berosh megula is considered an abomination, and therefore Moshe says you would have to daven again. V'loi mahani b'zeh kisei yad. When it comes to davening or learning with one's head uncovered, it does not help to put your hand on your head. Even though regarding the Isser of walking Dalet Amos, there's an opinion putting your hand on your head does work, it does not work regarding saying Hashem's name. Why? Diyad v'roish chad gufa inon. Your hand and your body are one entity. Ve'eina guf yachal lechasas es atzmai. One body cannot cover another body. Now, someone else's hand, that might be permitted. Some are lenient b'shas hadchak. You could use your hand. Could go in balayla, let's say at night. You want to drink. And you don't have a hat on your head. It's enough just to put your hand on your head. It is better to accustom oneself in the manner that people accord themselves, namely, you extend the sleeve of your hand on your hand, then it would be a covering according to everyone. Another interesting halacha. You're putting on the shalrosh. Now, most people, when they put on the shalrosh, they take off their yarmulke for a minute to put on the shalrosh. You want to make sure you're not saying the bracha with your head uncovered. Says Berura, the Pri Megadim says you should be careful when you put on the tefillin not to make the bracha with your head uncovered. It's very interesting. In the censored version of the Mishnah Berura, he brings, unless there's a law that you have to uncover your head before a governor, then dina de machusa dina, the Mishnah Berura puts it on a footnote, then you would have to basically follow the rule of the land and uncover your head in the presence of someone important. Uperuk misa'arais. What about a toupee? What about a toupee? There's actually one of these from video producers that makes plays. They didn't want all the actors to wear yarmulkes because it looks ridiculous. On the other hand, they didn't want them to take off their yarmulkes or wear caps, so they basically made toupees for everyone. But we're going to see that's not really a good eitzah. Uperuk misa'arais. A toupee, even if there's a piece of cloth underneath, yesh lesar. You can't say, well, I don't have to wear yarmulke now because I have a toupee. It's very interesting, meaning the choimer of yarmulke is such that we could even put maris ha'ayin on it. Sheyoimru shasaris, and people are going to think it's hair. V'yesh makilin, some are lenient. I guess it depends how bad the toupee is. The worse the toupee is, the more of a heter it is not to wear a yarmulke. Okay. He brings in the Dirsha Mishnah Berura a very interesting halacha. He says, are you allowed to greet, you have someone who's not observant, you want to say, Shalom Aleichem, and you know he's going to say Aleichem Shalom, even though he's not mechavein for the name of Hashem. Rav Moshe writes in the Gris Moshe, in Chelek Arachayim, Chelek Dalet, Siman Mem, Ois Chav Daled, you should not tell someone Shalom Aleichem, even if he's going to respond to you Aleichem Shalom, Beli Kavana Klal. Instead, you should say Ma Nishma. Fine. Weiter in the Mishnah Berura, V'yivdok nekavav. You should check whether you have to go to bed. In other words, if you wake up in the morning, you can't just run to shul. Say, what do you mean? I don't feel an urge. It's not enough not to feel an urge. You have to sort of consciously make an assessment. Do I have to go to the bathroom now? So that afterwards your body is clean. And a very important halacha. Mishnah Berura brings in Siman Tzadi Beis that let's say somebody could hold themselves in for 5 hours, but they feel somewhat of an urge. You're not allowed to daven. Okay, this is a very important halacha. If somebody has any urge at all, even though they could hold it in for 10 hours, you are not allowed to daven. If you daven b'diavad, you're yotzei, but you're not allowed to daven l'chachila. Now, if you're going to delay zman tefillah, then if you could hold it in 72 minutes, then you daven. However, if you're going to miss minyan, you miss minyan, even if you have any urge at all. So which means before you daven shachris, mincha, or mariv, you go to the bathroom. That's just Jewish practice. Say everybody has to do that? No, goyim don't have to do that. Before goyim go to shul, they don't have to go to the bathroom before mincha, mariv. But people who have a Jewish mother, before they pray, they have to go to the bathroom. Even, it's not a big deal. It's a very slight. It's very mild. It doesn't matter. You're not allowed to daven. Mishnah Berura says, because in Sim Tzadik Beis, Hikoin likras aleikacha Yisrael, Shemar raglecha kasher telch el Beis Holikim. So therefore, this is considered Zahirus and Zrizus. Kadeshi Acha Gufay Naki, say you have a clean body, B'shas Kabbalas Malchus Shemayim, B'Kriyas Shema Tefillah. Ve'ein tzarich rak b'dikelva, you just have to check yourself. You checked yourself, you made an assessment before Mincha, you don't have any urge at all. It's not a chayk, it's not like a paraduma. You have to go to the bathroom before Mincha, there's no such chayk. It's just if you have any urge at all, which very often, if you make an assessment, more often than not, people do. Zed nikra min adin guf, but if you don't have an urge, that's called a clean body. Now, if you don't have any urge at all, and you say, but I want to go to the bathroom for Tefillah, no, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to delay Zman Kriyashma, you're not allowed to delay Tefillah B'tzibur, just for the sake of going to the bathroom. But if you have any urge at all, you don't daven until you go to the bathroom. Yachef. Don't walk around barefoot. Now, l'chayra, this means, in general, Amru Chachamenu Zal Sheyimkar Adam Kama Sheyesh Lo Vikach Min Al Maragav. Sell everything you have. And buy shoes. If you're living in Saudi Arabia, it's permitted. So in case anyone listening from Saudi Arabia, you're allowed to walk barefoot over there. Let's say you're a program of tshuva. Yeah? Then mutter, you're allowed to do that. David HaMelech did that for tshuva. So if any of you, whatever, you're an accountant, you're a plumber, you're a lawyer, and you walk around barefoot on Main Street, we'll assume that that's your program of tshuva. Siman Gimel, Hanhagas Beis HaKisei. Says the Mechaber, Kishayikanes Beis HaKisei, when you enter a bathroom, Yoimar, you should say, Hiskabdu Mechubadim. Honorable angels, I take leave of you. Because there's a concept that the person's always accompanied by heavenly angels, but they're not coming into the bathroom with you. So therefore you have to politely take leave of them. Nowadays we don't say it. Well, says Mishna, why? We're not presumed to be so God-fearing that the angels accompany us, that we're going to ask them that they should wait for us. Now in the Dirsha Mishna Berura, he brings, when you come home Friday night, where we say two malachim escort you, so do they still escort us? So the Ben Ish Chai writes in Oid Yosef Chai Parashat Vayid, say that those angels, they're still around. Why? Because they're not coming for you, they're coming for Shabbos. So the angels that come for Shabbos, they're still hanging around, they walk you home Friday night. The angels that stam accompany you, that we don't assume anymore. What if you go to the bathroom Friday night on the way home from shul? So maybe then you do have angels, so then you should say, Hiskabdu Mechubadim. So Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld says, no. The angels are coming for Shabbos. Don't worry, they're not going to come into the Beis HaKesei with you. They know the program already, but you don't have to take leave of them. However, the Chassam Sofer did not sing Shalom Aleichem Friday night, because the same way the angels don't accompany us regularly, they don't come Friday night either. Even though in the footnotes in Menhagei Chassam Sofer, the Chassam Sofer would whisper Shalom Aleichem, because Taka the Chassam Sofer, he did have Malachim. But he didn't think anybody else did, but he whispered it because he didn't want to be arrogant about the fact he's the only one who has angels Friday night. Okay, Sif Beis, let's see the beginning. Yehei tsanua bebeis hakisei. You should be modest in the bathroom. V'lo yegala atzmai ad sheyeshiv. Do not uncover yourself until you sit. Even though we cited earlier that the opinion of Moshe Feinstein is that even though we said you should not undress yourself, but rather you should do it under the cover, Rav Moshe said, in a bathtub or shower, you could undress yourself with yourself uncovered, because in a sort of bathhouse or area of a shower, that's not a place where you're normally dressed. That does not apply to a toilet. Excuse the expression, just for the sake of being clear. Now, if people have a full bathroom with the shower near the actual Beis HaKisei, it could be, Rav Moshe would be lenient. But in general, if it's a half bathroom and all there is a toilet, then even Rav Moshe would say you should not uncover more than you need to. And meaning, don't uncover yourself until you sit down, says the Mishnah Berura, V'hu adin shelo yakum shumago. You shouldn't get up while you're uncovered. I just want to read the beginning of the Be'er Halacha. Yehei tsanua, ayin bebracha samach beis amud aleph ayin beis demaflig hagemara b'midas atznius. There the Gemara speaks at length about midas atznius uvismak moine tznius lemitzvah da'iraisa. The smak counts modesty as one of the 613 mitzvahs. So one would have thought it's only a midah toiva ba'alma. The smak counts it as one of the 613 mitzvahs. The Be'er Halacha goes on to say over there about the importance of making bathrooms in shuls and public areas. As we mentioned, that if somebody has the slightest urge, they're really not allowed to daven. Now, if there's no bathroom in the shul, and the bathroom is in an outhouse or back at home, nobody's going to observe that. People are going to delay going to the bathroom, and therefore the Berura Halacha talks about the importance of having bathrooms, and enough bathrooms and clean bathrooms in an available close by to the Makom Tefillah. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful Shabbos. Thanks everybody for joining. We'll continue next week. Bracha v'hatzlacha, kol tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.